Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. Senator Cory Booker stood up for 25 hours and 5 minutes yesterday. We were on the air when he stopped the filibuster. We covered it yesterday, so if you want to listen on demand, I direct you to that. Cory Booker and I, have danced for, I want to say, about 20 years. I was a reporter for the New York Daily News when he first ran for mayor of Newark, New Jersey. I spent time with him. He lost to Sharp James. He did not quit. He came back and ran again. I hung out with him during that election cycle. Since he's been in the Senate, you know, we have, as I do with most people, folk are interesting. Again, politicians are not our friends. They're not our little friends. They're not our cousins. They're not family members. They are servants. And yesterday, that man proved that, standing up there for 24 hours, no bathroom breaks. He talked about fasting for a couple of days and not drinking any water. He purposefully dehydrated himself so that he would not have to tinkle during those 25 hours. Did not use, because you couldn't leave. He couldn't leave the floor. And I'm sure he was not going to urinate on the floor, because that man was raised right. He's got great parents. I met his mama. Good parents. 25 hours and 5 minutes standing up for you, for me, for this country, for the Constitution, for what's right. This is why we send people to Washington, not just to perform. Although this was in many ways, but we need this kind of performance, because he used that filibuster not to read nursery rhymes, not to, recite the Constitution or even read the Gettysburg Address. He used it to talk about policies and things that were eroding under this administration. And it was so powerful. His team, shout out to the Cory Booker team. They were keeping us up to date on social media, putting out clips in real time. It was streaming live, and it was an inspiration, because this is what we've been asking for. Your job is not to go to Washington to become famous or rich, although that has become seems like that's become the edict for far too many. And we haven't done our job on electing these people. We haven't done our job in showing up for ourselves. Cory Booker stood on business yesterday, and he evoked John, good business. He was good trouble. I'm sorry. John Lewis in good trouble. He was evoking the name of John Lewis and causing good trouble yesterday. We should all cause good trouble. Silence is acquiescence, is what they say. Silence is acquiescence, meaning if you say nothing and do nothing, you're agreeing with what's happening. So you either stand up for something or fall for everything, or get rolled over with the rest of us as we're fighting, literally standing in front of the tanks like Tiananmen Square, saying, no, this will not happen on my watch. So 25 hours and 5 minutes, New Jersey Democrat Senator Cory Booker stood on business. Now, the filibuster is something that we have been talking about should go away. I think we should not have an electoral college. I think we should re-examine and reimagine policing. I think there's a lot of things that should happen. Yes, reparations should be on the table, but it requires an act of Congress. Congress has to police itself, which means we have to police Congress. We have to elect people who are going to go to Congress and overturn these things. Now, he used the master's tool to dismantle, and it did stop. It stopped some things from going through. I think Mike Johnson had to call time out yesterday. Nothing got done on that Senate floor, on the floor yesterday, because Cory Booker held court. And all the other people who stepped in the gap, the Elizabeth Warrens, the Angela Also Brooks, the Tammy Duckworths, the Raphael Warnocks, everybody that stood up while he was there to give him a reprieve during that 25 hour, 5-minute act of courage, act of resilience, act of fortitude. Yes, well done, Cory Booker, well done. Now, on August 28th, 1957, we talked yesterday about Strom Thurmond and how he held court for 24 hours and 18 minutes. And, you know, as we were approaching the 23-hour mark, I was like, I think Cory Booker's going to surpass that. And he did. So before Cory Booker's 25 hours and 5 minutes in 1957, August 28th, 1957, Strom Thurmond, senator from South Carolina, who had just been elected. He hadn't been in Congress long, 3 years, I think, 68 years ago. He stood in opposition to the Civil Rights Act. He stood firmly on his belief that segregation should remain in America. He was a staunch segregationist, except in his household, where he tipped into the maid's quarters and had sexual relations with a woman that was working in his home and had a baby that he hid for all of them years. Segregation now, segregation today, except in my bedroom, because I am following my ancestors into the slave quarters, because we don't think you're equal. But we don't have a problem raping and having sex and babies with you. Make up your mind. You can suckle our babies, but we don't trust you. We don't trust you, but here's our baby to watch and raise. We don't trust you, but you have all of the most intimate details. You get to wipe my ass and throw out my chamber pot, but I don't trust you. You're literally sleeping in my bed, and I don't trust you. You're dangerous. Strom Thurmond, a hypocrite, stood on the Senate floor and filibustered for 24 hours and 18 minutes to oppose the Civil Rights Act of 1957. In the filibuster, and for those who aren't familiar, filibuster is an extended speech designed to stall legislation. That filibuster started his at 8:54 p.m. and lasted until 9:12 p.m. the following day. It made the filibuster the longest single-person filibuster in the United States history until yesterday. Strom Thurmond's filibuster focused primarily on asserting that the bill in question, the Civil Rights Act of 1957, that bill in question, which would provide an expanded federal protection for Black people, African-American voting rights, he said it was both unnecessary and unconstitutional. People are saying that today. Strom Thurmond recited from documents, including the election laws of each United States state. He was filibustering. He also recited George Washington's farewell address. He focused on a particular provision in the bill that dealt with certain court cases, but opposed the entirety of the bill. The bill passed anyway. 2 hours after his filibuster ended, it was signed into law. It passed the Senate, and then 2 weeks after that, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed it into law, 1957 Civil Rights Act. Now, we have to, unfortunately, keep going back. We have the Civil Rights Acts of the 1960s. The Voting Rights Act has never really been codified into law permanently, which is why we have to continue to send people to Washington that are going to do the work. Everybody out there who wants reparations for Black folk, descendants of Africans that were enslaved in the United States of America, you have to vote. Every time I ask somebody, so what's your plan for reparations? I get crickets back, because you can yell into the void, but until and unless you understand civics and how bills turn into laws, you are just somebody yelling into the void. You are widely obtuse and loud. Wrong and strong is what I call you. But we do have power in this moment. Shout out to Mickey Sherrill. She's from New Jersey. Smith, you know her, right? Representative Mickey Sherrill. She introduced legislation also today, I think, to require drug testing for the Doge people. She said yes. And she's running to be governor of the state of New Jersey. I don't know whether we're going to support her or not. We need to know we need to give a list of things that we want to get done and see what she responds. We're going to invite her on the Karen Hunter show and see if she shows up. Yep. We've already talked with Ross Baraka. He came in. He drove in to sit with me to talk about what he could do for the state of New Jersey. Mickey Sherrill, you're gonna have to come here and talk, because this is not a popularity contest. You're not our little friend. We don't know you, But we do have a set of demands. Those of us who live somewhere, and we all live somewhere. You live somewhere. What do you need? Write it down. Build a coalition around those needs. Get other people to agree. And now you have power. We talked with Eljoy Williams and Newbie about how to set an agenda, how to set a lobby day, how we can get out in the face in front of these people and force them to the table to discuss the things that we need. Everyone lives somewhere. What do you need? That's the way. It's not who are they going to pick for us. It's who are we going to pick for us? And what are the issues? And it's got to be issues based. Can't be, oh, I don't like this person. They got a twizzle tooth. This one's breath stinks. I don't know. They married to a white person. I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like how they sound. No. Can they get it done? Period. Period.
Experience Karen Hunter
In a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power, a 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.